It's been a tumultuous time for UK politics, especially with the current controversies surrounding Labour leader Keir Starmer. As the Prime Minister faces mounting scrutiny over his extensive acceptance of gifts and hospitality, a storm of criticism is brewing, and it doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon. Today, we're diving deep into the scandal that sees Starmer in the hot seat, scrutinizing not just the numbers but the implications behind them. So, before we jump into the details, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on the latest news. Let's start with the numbers, as they paint a troubling picture for Starmer. Since the start of the last Parliament, Keir Starmer has accepted over £107,000 worth of gifts and hospitality, making him the MP with the highest amount of accepted freebies in the entire House of Commons. It's alarming to note that this figure is 2.5 times more than any of his colleagues. What are we to make of this? When Starmer promised a government of service, it seems he may have missed the mark somewhere along the way. The question arises, how can a leader truly represent the interests of the public when he is surrounded by such lavish gifts? From luxury holidays to football tickets, Starmer has enjoyed a lifestyle that many ordinary citizens can only dream of. While his actions may technically fall within the legal boundaries set by parliamentary rules, the ethical implications are questionable. The optics of the situation are troubling, to say the least. Sky News political correspondent Sam Coates has uncovered these staggering figures, thrusting Keir Starmer into a whirlwind of controversy. Some may argue that it's harmless to accept gifts as long as they are declared, but the reality is far more complex. People don't give gifts without expecting something in return, especially in the world of politics. This raises serious questions about the nature of the relationship Starmer maintains with the wealthy donors behind these gifts. Let's delve deeper into the specifics of where these gifts are coming from. Notably, a significant portion of Starmer's gifts has come from Lord Waheed Ali, a wealthy media and retail mogul with close ties to the Labour Party. Starmer has accepted approximately £20,000 worth of suits and fashionable glasses from Ali, and it has come to light that Starmer's wife, Victoria, received about £5,000 worth of dresses from the same donor. Alarm bells are ringing, and rightly so. The fact that these gifts were not immediately declared only deepens the suspicion surrounding Starmer's financial dealings. It raises the question of whether this is merely a case of poor transparency or if there is something more nefarious at play. Lord Ali's close association with Starmer is particularly concerning, given that he has not only provided material gifts but has also seemingly been granted quick access to Downing Street. This relationship between Starmer and Ali could suggest a troubling conflict of interest, especially when combined with the high-value gifts exchanged between them. The situation becomes even murkier when you consider that many of the gifts Starmer has accepted are from powerful figures in sports and media. This includes organizations such as the Premier League, which has reportedly gifted him over £125,000 worth of tickets to various events, from football matches to concerts. It's hard not to draw a connection between these gifts and the looming decisions that Starmer and his government will need to make regarding the regulation of sports in Britain. Can we really ignore the potential conflict of interest when a Prime Minister is showered with gifts from organizations that could soon be subject to government regulation? Starmer has brushed off concerns, stating that he wouldn't be able to attend these events without these gifts, but the implication is that there's more at stake here than mere attendance. The gravity of the situation is compounded by the fact that discussions around establishing a football regulator are on the table. Imagine accepting tens of thousands of pounds worth of tickets while your government is deliberating on new regulations affecting these organizations. The potential for corruption, or at least the appearance of it, is undeniably significant. While Starmer may maintain that everything is above board, public perception is essential in politics. The optics of the situation are terrible for a leader who is supposed to champion the interests of the people. Accepting luxury gifts from those who have a vested interest in government decisions raises serious questions about impartiality. How can Starmer claim to make unbiased decisions regarding football and sports regulation when he is financially tied to organizations benefiting from those decisions? This brings us to the role of Starmer's Chief of Staff, Sue Gray, who has recently come under fire herself. Once seen as a secret weapon for Starmer, Gray's connection to these scandals has placed her in a precarious position. Reports indicate that her salary exceeds that of the Prime Minister, which is raising eyebrows and causing friction within the party. If Starmer's Chief of Staff, tasked with guiding him ethically, is entangled in the very controversies he's trying to navigate, it leads to serious doubts about her effectiveness and Starmer's decision-making process. As Starmer gears up for his first conference as Prime Minister, the looming scandals could overshadow what should be a pivotal moment for his leadership. Instead of uniting the party and presenting a clear agenda, Starmer is facing a political storm with the scandal over freebies and ethical doubts about his inner circle.
This disarray is causing anxiety among Labour MPs, and many are beginning to question whether Starmer can manage the chaos surrounding him. Furthermore, the whispers of discontent among Starmer's biggest supporters indicate a serious rift in confidence. They wonder why Starmer didn't heed warnings about accepting gifts and perks more seriously. The growing sentiment is that if Starmer cannot regain control of the narrative, it could completely overshadow his leadership and derail the Labour Party's trajectory. As the pressure builds, Labour MPs are increasingly calling for Starmer to tighten control over his actions and the actions of those around him. The expectation is clear. Starmer needs to stop accepting freebies and restore confidence in his leadership. The longer he allows this situation to fester, the more damaging it will become for his political career and the Labour Party as a whole. Now, let's not forget the broader implications of this scandal on the political landscape in the UK. The perception of ethical leadership has never been more crucial. As political scandals continue to dominate headlines, the public becomes more discerning about their leaders. Starmer's predicament comes at a time when many citizens are already skeptical of politicians and their motives. It raises the important question: what does this say about Labour's ability to govern effectively and ethically? In a political environment rife with accusations of corruption and impropriety, voters are looking for leaders who can not only promise change but also embody it. The optics of Starmer's lavish lifestyle and the connections he maintains could jeopardize the party's efforts to win back public trust. If Labour cannot demonstrate a commitment to transparency and ethical governance, it risks alienating the very voters it seeks to serve. The fallout from this scandal may have lasting consequences for Starmer's leadership and the Labour Party's future. The combination of freebie scandals, ethical concerns about key staff, and the looming conference creates a perfect storm for Starmer. Can he weather it, or will the pressures prove to be too much? As we assess the current state of UK politics, it's crucial to remember that accountability is paramount. Political leaders are not just figures on a screen. They hold power that directly impacts the lives of millions. Starmer's actions will undoubtedly be scrutinized as he seeks to lead the Labour Party into the next election. So, what's the takeaway here? Transparency, accountability, and ethical leadership are not just buzzwords. They are essential components of a functioning democracy. Voters are becoming more aware of the influence of money in politics and are demanding more from their leaders. The challenge now lies with Starmer and the Labour Party to not only navigate this scandal but to emerge stronger and more unified. The political landscape in the UK is ever-changing, and the controversies surrounding Keir Starmer serve as a reminder of the challenges that come with leadership. As voters, we must remain vigilant and engaged in the political process. The choices we make today will shape the future of our governance and the values we uphold as a society. In conclusion, the current state of affairs surrounding Keir Starmer and the Labour Party highlights the critical importance of ethical behaviour in politics. With scandals erupting and trust eroding, the path forward must be paved with integrity. Political leaders need to take a step back and assess how their actions reflect on the institutions they represent. Voters deserve leaders who prioritize their interests over personal gain. As this story unfolds, we encourage you to stay informed, engage in the conversation, and hold your representatives accountable. What are your thoughts on the situation? How can Starmer regain the trust of the public? Leave your comments below, and let's discuss. And don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more updates on this and other pressing political issues. Thank you for joining us today. As we continue to navigate through these complex political landscapes, let's remember that the power to effect change lies in our hands. Together, we can demand better from our leaders and work towards a government that truly serves the people.